Good morning and welcome to another exciting edition today for with the man Frank SCALISH. We're up to 212, I believe, Frank.
We are knocking on the door of 300.
Every once in a while, we'll get deep into conversation, and we were literally in the middle of one, not 30 seconds ago, and you said, "Bro, we got to go live."
Yeah, I looked at the clock, and I'm like,
I know,
man.
I have a little countdown in the corner. It says 0000. It's showtime. Somewhere where it is also showtime. I got the smallmouth fever, Frank. I do. Like, I've been watching all the St. Lawrence River stuff, and then all those videos are coming out, and now the Elite Series is at St. Clair live right now, already 20-pound racks in the well, guys catching 3 to 4 pounders, and then the Bass Pro Tour is also up in smallmouth country. So a lot of those guys, I think, are catching largemouth, though. A lot of those guys are catching some largemouth. So, but I mean, I'm headed to Leech tomorrow.
Perfect.
I was up till working on tackle till 3 a.m. I have 9 spinning rod combos just dialed,
just tweaked.
There's nothing better. Like what, in your opinion, would you rather have, like, if you could only pick one, like what feels better in your hands, a perfectly balanced, freshly spooled bait casting combo or the same counterpart on a spinning rod?
They're both equally as nice to me.
But I feel like spinning rod is way more important because you're putting, like, you can get away with cutting some corners on a bait caster, in my opinion, because you can make up for it with 20-pound string. You don't have to have the perfect action or something. Like, I mean, you could technically take a medium heavy rod and flip with it.
Yeah, that's factual.
But on the spinning rod side, Frank, if you have one little minute detail that isn't right, you are asking for heartbreak.
Yeah, I mean, I will agree with you there. Yeah, I was tweaking rods out as well, spinning rods. Because as I advanced my techniques in live scoping and light lining, I've realized that some of my game plan was flawed, with rod, reel, line, et cetera, et cetera. So I had to do some tweaking of my own, and I agree with you 100%.
Don't read that comment out loud, by the way.
Well, I can't. I'm trying to read it. Only from the world of Drunkwood could this possibly.
Anyway, back to tweaking spinning rods.
Yeah, and so I agree with you. If you're not completely dialed in on it, you are asking for heartbreak. I will 100% agree with that, bar none. And you can get away with stuff with bait casters. Because here, it's like this, okay? I have some bait casters that I call my all-purpose utility rods.
Mm-hmm.
And I can throw several different baits on them, several different techniques on them, and it's the same rod, same reel, no big deal. But on a spinning rod, that you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, I have a light line spinning rod set up that's 10-pound braid, 8-pound fluoro, 6-pound fluoro. You're not doing nothing with that except a light line application. So I agree with you, man. I agree with you. So you got like a plethora of spinning rods now.
Yeah, I'm dialed in. I've got one. Do you want to run through it? We have massive breaking news though. Like, Frank, you are back in a big way. Not a. Yeah. There's some things that are hitting. You know how we've had like a little break on kind of what your expertise is, which is getting down into the shop.
Oh yeah,
you've been in the shop. We'll just say that, so we'll tease it.
Yeah, I've been in the shop.
And before we get to it, we'll just really annoy people by running through my 9 setups. So for the first time, I've got a Dice Mystery Plastics rod. That's my new addition for Leech.
Okay.
Which is a 7.6 medium action, 12-pound with just a little number 4 stinger hook on it. Not sure which action figure, dice, roly-poly thing I'm going to put on it, but I also had to spend a lot of time then getting my nail weights, tungsten nail weights together too to weight, and you can also drop shot it. But I've never had like a dice rod before.
Yeah, I'm. You're gonna hate me, man. I'm not playing the dice game.
Why is that?
I catch way too many fish doing other things.
I said that about the biffle bug. I said that about the plot. Like, I have been late on a lot of trends.
I've been late on a couple, but I see the dice as a specific situation. It's got to be a specific situation.
Talk me through it.
I think the clearer the water, the better it's going to work. I also think high pressure water, fishing pressure water, I think you're going to get bites that guys won't get. But like my general opinion, and here for what it's worth, I haven't thrown a dice. So for whatever it's worth, take it or leave it. My opinion is, traditional fishing, if you're still catching them traditionally, I don't think you need the dice in the waters that you're fishing. But when things change, you may have to throw it. I'm going to experiment with it as much as I freaking hate to. Just because.
So you are going to experiment with it. So you've changed your tune in you talked yourself into the dice?
No, I have to throw it a couple of times. I have a clear body of water that I'm the
same way.
And so I have to experiment with it. So I don't want to steal you the thunder on your rod setups.
No. I'm the same way, but here's my thought on the dice game. I personally believe that the standard dice will get played out like an A-rig or a whopper plopper, where there will be, and we are in that window right now, where Correct. It's wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. If they see it, they eat it. But because of what it looks like, I think it will become less effective with time. It'll still always have a place, and you can have the people that'll be like, well, it looks like the zooplankton they ate when they were fry.
Right.
Whatever.
Well, that was the theory behind it.
Right. But I think it's going to be a bait that is the novelty is the effectiveness right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. But here's what I'm going to tell you. It's the modifications of that into a standard, more proven bait shape that's going to take it over.
Yeah, Drunkwood is on a roll this morning. He said the last time he threw dice, he ended up with a black eye in an alley in Philly.
Dude, where do you come up with this stuff? You must just sit up at night waiting.
I think he never goes to bed, Frank. I don't think he ever goes to bed.
I've actually hung out with that dude, and I could concur. I age every time I'm with him. I age.
Sadly, I can say the same thing.
I age 5 years every time I do anything with Drunkwood.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, I'm coming in town. I'm like, I'm not available. Anyway,
everyone at the beer factory is like, yes, overtime.
Yeah, right. Ching ching.
But then I've got I am up to four minnow setups.
Okay, so let's talk about
we just lost Clay for the rest of the show, but so be it.
Clay, we're coming back to conventional. I promise. I'm bringing it around. Don't leave. So let's talk about that for a second, because I have 3 minnow rods.
Okay.
And I'm finding something out, and correct me if I'm wrong, because
I'm not corrected, Frank, on day 4.
It's like I'm doing a lot of experimentation. I started going with the absolute lightest possible weight I can go on my minnows, and I am finding that they float better, and I'm getting way more response. Now, that being said, if it's blowing like a hurricane, I got to go heavier because I can't control it. But I'm sacrificing bites. And so I started playing the light jig head game on it, and I'm finding much better results. Am I off the base here?
No, you're dead nuts on. 3.5 grams or an eighth of an ounce of 5.2 to 3 or 3/16. So that eighth to 3/16, I think, is the sweet spot.
I agree.
I've messed around with some micro stuff and it gets way too fluky. Like it looks too much like a fluke. Like you have to have a little bit of that weight. And when it gets super light, it wants to chug and not roll. But I think that in between 1/8 and 3/16 is the sweet zone for a 5 or 6, unless you're dealing with pelagic schooling fish that are chasing bait fish, and you want something that is just movement. At that point, you could put a chunk of a Cinco on a 3/8 ounce head. The minnow doesn't matter. It's movement and something going through the water column at that point. But no, I 100% agree. That's why I've got 4. I've got one with a 1/4 ounce on it, one with an 1/8, and then 2 with 3/16 from 4 to 7 inches in length.
Yeah, see, and
I'm treating it like the minnow game now, Frank, and you just explained it, is like the crankbait game.
Yeah.
And the people who haven't thrown the minnows don't understand it. They think it's sea fish cast. My God, it's shaped like a bait fish, and they eat it. The more I do it, and I think you'll agree with me, it is exactly like the crankbait game, and we're like, why? How many times do you go cranking with one rod unless you're absolutely dialed in? I mean, I've seen your front deck. You'll have 5, 6, 7 different crankbaits out.
Yeah, I do. I have a tendency to do that because, as we know from the crankbait shows, every bill style runs different, vibrates different, behaves different. And I'm finding the same thing out with minnows. I'm not going to go into brands of minnows. But there's probably 3 or 4 that I think you kind of got to stay with. I'm learning a lot. I'm really learning a lot about it. And you started it all with the crappie game, just so you know.
With you, yeah.
Yeah, and
with you, I started. I did not start the minnow game. I was a year late to the minnow game, talking about late trends. So I was early on it, but I was still like these kids that are dominating now. They had a little minnow cult going in like 21, 22. Like I used to think, Frank, there's no way that a technique or a bait could be kept under wraps in today's day and age with all the social media, the live shows, everything. Yeah. Oh, I was wrong. The minnow was kept under wraps for 2.5 years by a very select group who kept it close to their vests. And you'd be like, holy cow, it was the only reason it was exposed was the group that figured it out, and it was a nationwide group of friends. This is the way I could be a little off here.
No, go for it.
I understand it 100. This is what happened. There's a group of guys. You have a little bit of college influence. You have a little bit of guys who meet kind of over social media. You kind of pick some things up. They all become friends. Some of them grew up together. A couple of them went to college together. We're still in college. And the only reason it got exposed was because they graduated to a league where they could no longer hide it.
Right. They had
Bass Pro Tour, Bassmaster Elite Series opens live. And it was not advertised. It was not talked about. And it was forced into the general public.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was possible at this time. That in this day and age, you could have a bait that would be that effective, that good, and kept that quiet for that long. I mean, they're all at the top right now.
Yeah, and back in the old days before social media, it was really easy to keep stuff under wraps.
Yeah,
because only the people that knew you knew. Nobody else did. They never found out either.
Yeah, Sean said what happened. What happened was they qualified for live TV and internet coverage events where you couldn't lie or hide what you were doing. Now, I mean, I've gotten in the boat with a couple of them, Frank, and Clay is going to disagree with me because, like I said, like you don't understand the minnow game. Is it easier to catch fish with live scope and a minnow than ever before? Unequivocally, without a doubt, yes.
But that's because the techniques got refined.
Right, but is it harder to compete at the top level than ever before? I would argue it is too, because you get in the boat with one of these minnow phenoms, they can make that bit. It's like flipping behind Greg Hackney. It's like cranking behind KVD.
Yeah, I've done that before. Don't bother.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, don't bother.
A little bit of a rant, but you with me on that same page?
Yeah, I am. But here, it's like anything. So Trailer Rick came in town the other day. All right. Speaking about, Trailer Rick comes in town. He's got to see some dealers up here. So he calls me. He's like, I'm going to be in. I said, pick a day. He said Tuesday. I said, we're on it. I'll take you out. We'll go Tuesday. I said, I have a couple things that I want to experiment with. I've never thrown it before. I've never picked it up. I didn't, I called Frankie to say, Frank, what do I need? I'm going to make a free rig. What do I need to do? And he says, buy this, get that, do this. So I bought hooks. I modified the hooks with my system on it. Cause I can't fish nothing out of a box. So it's a curse. It's a curse. So I do all that. I set up a rod specifically for it. And I said, okay, I know nothing about this. I've never fished it. I've never researched it, nothing. I just rigged it up in the driveway Monday morning. And I'm like, okay, I have a theory and I'm just going to go with no preconceived notions. There's no preconceived notions. I'm fishing. So I pick Rick up Tuesday morning and we're driving to the lake and we got a pretty good haul to get there. So we're BSing and, we're talking about a lot of things and of course laughing every 5 minutes. The guy is so funny. It's ridiculous.
Do you already have a cigar and bourbon rolling since it was an off day on the water?
I cannot confirm nor deny. So anyhow, so we get to the lake and I said, I got this place I want to fish. We'll catch 20 right there. It's offshore. We'll catch 20 right there. And I said, I'm going to experiment with the free rig. So I don't know. So we're going to have a couple of crankbait rods out and I put a standard football jig on. Let me time out. Time out. So here's the conventional brain going. All right. I want to fish the free rig, but I need a comparison. So the two comparisons are the Carolina rig and a full-size football jig, not the micro stuff, full-size football jig, Carolina rig. So I've got my controls out there because I'm going to throw the football jig first and then I'm going to switch it over. And then last, I'm going to pick up the free rig because I need to see if I'm catching them with standard stuff. Is one better than the other, et cetera, et cetera. You see what? Yes.
Can I show a free rig real quick for those who don't know what it is? Because it's not.
Put it up there.
Okay,
I should have got one, but
that's fine. This is from the Michiana Outdoors, which is Hall of Fame writer Louis Stout's website.
Oh, Louis is a good dude, man.
It's got a great picture of that. I wanted to make sure I pulled one up to where if the guy was like, man, you use my photo without questions, I had a little bit of rapport with them so I can go straight to prison.
Nah, Louis is a great dude, man.
So, yeah, if you guys want like great tips, techniques, tons of stuff with KVD, he's written a couple books with Kevin Van Dam. Louis Stout is the man, and he will smoke a cigar and watch a Cubs game and drink some bourbon with you.
And he is quite cantankerous.
Yes.
Yeah, there it is.
So the key to the free rig here is it is basically a oblong, like a cylindrical drop shot weight, but instead of having a notch on it, it's got like a barrel swivel at the top and it just slides up and down the line like an unpegged Texas rig. So you're basically Texas rigging a drop shot weight, but it slides freely up and down the line. Correct. And you use a smaller hook and a little plastic on it. That's the rig. That is Correct. The free rig. Correct. There's a bunch of variations, but that's the crux of it.
Correct.
Okay, so continue on with the story because I'm very fascinated to see where this goes because I had a conversation with one Ben Milliken about this just last week.
Oh man, I you know what? I should have called him too first, but I didn't. Like I said, I didn't research it.
Okay, back to your story.
Okay, so we get out there, and this story has two parts to it about fishing structured properly. So I'm running to the first place, and there's a boat on it, and I'm a little annoyed, to say the least, because I thought that I had found something that other anglers didn't find, and I was very wrong in my assumption. So I told Rick we're going to blow on by it, not even going to look at it. We're just going by, and then I got another place. It's not as deep, but the bass should be on it. and we'll go there first. So I run down the lake, get out of sight. You know, it's way down, so there's nobody around. I pull up on the thing and start fishing traditionally. Not catching anything. So I pick up a shaky head. I catch a decent one on the shaky head, and I'm like, okay, cool. Pick up the micro jig. I catch a couple on the micro. Throw the big football jig. Don't catch anything. Anyway, long and short of it is, we fished there. We caught a few there. I said, let's fish this other stuff. Let's go to this one dock row I got. It's got a river channel that sucks into it. It'll be deeper. Let's fish that for a while. Let's give that guy time to fish the deal and get out of there. So we do the docks. We catch a couple, a lot of small ones. The deep and steep banks weren't really holding quality fish, so I was kind of getting annoyed with that. Run back up the lake. Guys still on it. Blow past it. I go to another section of the lake, fishing some steep, deep stuff, catching fish. We're catching fish all the while, but we're not getting this size. We're not getting quite the size we want. We're coming back. The guy's off of it. We pull back up on it. It's wind was starting, but it wasn't really windy yet. We catch a few on it. I said, you know what? Let's just go down farther down. There's some stumps out there. Let's just do the stumps. So we go farther down. We're doing the stumps. I think Rick catches a couple. And then I said, well, let me try this free thing. So I pitch it out there, and I'm blind casting to stumps. Well, actually, no, it's not blind casting. I'm seeing them on live scope. Not seeing bass on the stumps, but I'm seeing where the stump is. I'm rifling a cast out there, getting the free rig down there. Boom. I catch a few. So I go, okay, maybe. I could have probably done the same thing with a heavy jig. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think much of it. We leave. We go to some other places that I know on the lake, and we catch fish. And we're catching fish pretty consistently. The size is up and down. We're catching a couple nice ones, a bunch of small ones, a couple nice ones. It's frustrating me, but we're catching. So the wind picks up, and the wind picks up good. And I go, you know what? We're going back. So I run back to that ledge, and I set the boat up, and what it is for those, I'll describe it. I've got a secondary creek.
Can we draw it? We don't want to. I mean, I see hand motions and things. We need to get some. We need to get some drawings here for the for future auctions, raffles, and giveaways, Frank.
Okay, we're going to do it. So yeah, but I didn't really want this to be an auction item, but I'm going to draw.
I'm just kidding. It doesn't have to be an auction item.
All right, so I'm drawing it anyway. Oh shit!
Frank's going to do an abstract art gallery one time. It's just going to be a line on a piece of paper with the Frank SCALISH underneath it.
Yeah, and I'm going to call it loneliness. It's just going to be a dot on a white sheet of paper. Okay, so bow positioning. All right.
I got to find a piece of paper. This one is titled.
All right, so go ahead, Matt. I'll let you.
This one's titled.
Tip it. There
Frank realizes someone is where he wanted to fish.
What is that? My heart rate?
No, that's your boat going like that, realizing it, then going around the guy that driving and then not knowing where you're headed.
All right, so here we go. Can we see this?
Yep, perfect.
Okay, so here's the secondary channel meets the main river channel edge.
Yep.
And this is the target zone. And I'll tell you why. Because this is the steepest part of the break, and there's good chunk rock on it right here. As you go down, it flattens out, and then all the stumps would be out here that are on a real gradual nothing. So anyhow, so this is what happens. Now here's the wind, because this is important. This is important. So the wind direction is blowing this way.
Okay.
All right. So it's very important to know that, because that's the way the current's going.
So
So
they're setting up the old country buffet for them.
it's expediting the current because the wind's with the current. So to make a long story short, even though I hate to shorten a story, you guys know that. We pull up on there, and I got the boat positioned almost exactly where I want it. And and I literally pick up the free rig and I rifle a cast out there. And I'm used to like Carolina rigging and football jigging, so I make a monster throw. And I'm standing there, and that thing hits the bottom, and I feel, and I reel up to it, crack it, I get him. It's like a 3-pounder. Largemouth. I get him in the boat, and I'm going, and I hit spot lock, and I tell Rick, I said, okay, I let it go, and I fire another cast out there, and boom, as soon as it hit, I got another one. Reel it in. It's like a clone of the first one. I'm not 100% sure how many bass I caught on every single cast. I'm not 100% sure. So I got Rick a free rig real quick, and we both started catching fish. And here's what happens. We had pushed the school of fish away from us because we kept catching them, and every time we catch one, we're bringing other ones with it. The school's dispersing on the structure, and they're not coming back. And so we hit a lull. I don't know. We caught 15, maybe more, in minutes, and we pulled the school off, and we're not catching anymore. And so I said, let's sneak up on them. Let's go further up on them, because I can see them on live scope. They're going away from us. Let's go. Let's get them. So I'm scooting along, and we're casting and catch one, and then make 50 casts. We don't catch another one, and then we don't catch another one. And in the interim, the wind had drifted me, and as we go further on the break, it starts to flatten out. It's not the hard break anymore. It's starting to flatten out. So we're not catching them. I said, Rick, we screwed up, dude. I said, we got to reposition the boat in the proper place, because they don't want this angle we're casting at, because I can see fish, but we can't catch them because we're casting in the wrong direction. So I circle the boat way out and around, and I go way out and around, and I put the boat on my track line where we were catching them, so I could have the same angle of cast. And no kidding, as soon as I got on the same angle, we started wailing on them again. And so Rick said, hey, that's the first time I've heard you talk about the angle of the cast a million times. That's the first time I've ever seen it done. You know what I mean? And so, and it was a perfect learning tool, because the minute we didn't cast it, the minute our cast changed an angle, we couldn't get a bite. And it's not, and here's the weird thing. When I would scope across it, I could see fish in all kinds of different places. So I said, let's crank it. Maybe we'll catch them cranking, because they're a foot off the bottom to 4 feet off the bottom. Maybe we'll rail on them cranking. So I picked up the crankbait. I think I caught 1 or 2, and Rick might have caught 1 or 2, and we couldn't get another bite on them. And so, and then the minute we threw that damn free rig down there, we started crashing on them again. So there's something about this rig that I'm going to entirely tweak out. And I had an idea at the end of the day that I'm going to implement, and it is going to be absolutely not what anybody's thinking about. So I was just throwing a 3/8 ounce weight because I was fishing relatively deep and it was windy on it.
Yeah, a lot of questions.
So Jody, so I thought it was a mysterious rig too, and I didn't believe in it, because I said, "What? They're going to bite that, and they're not going to bite a football jig." Well, they didn't bite the football jig because I threw the shit out of it, and they wouldn't bite it. And here, to keep everything even, I was throwing the exact same colors on every single other rig that I threw. I was throwing the exact same colors, the exact same everything, because I had to keep all of the variables consistent to see. Now, am I going to tell you this rig will outperform the other ones every time? Absolutely no freaking way. There's no way it will. But that day, that particular day, it did. And I analyzed it. I figured out why. I know why it did, actually. 100%. Me and Frankie talked about it for an hour the other day. I know exactly why it outperformed them. And I can tell you. So as this, on a long cast, slack line drop, the weight slides down first and the bait follows the weight. The weight hits the bottom and the bait is just kind of meandering there, floating back down. The bass were suspended off the bottom a couple of feet, and every single bite was coming once the sinker touched down. And that means the bait wasn't at the sinker yet. So the bait was just free floating on the way down. And that's why it was so effective. The Carolina rig took it right down. They didn't really want it moving. And the football jig was on the bottom moving, and I crawled and paused it. I hopped it. I dragged it, just straight drag. They wouldn't touch it. Like, I mean, not even touch it. Like, I didn't even get a thump and miss a fish. They wouldn't touch it. It's just not what they wanted. And so it was an interesting day. It was a great day. The technique, I think, is versatile. Now, here's something else. I pitched and flipped it also. Okay. I was throwing a brush hog style bait on it, only because I wanted the bulk, but I've thrown a trick worm on it, a finesse worm, also, but I wanted the bulk. And so, because the water was off color, so I wanted the bulk. And so I was flipping and pitching it also. And I did not get a bite flipping and pitching it. And as soon as I picked up my jig, I started thrashing them. So
yeah, keep going.
Yeah. So very situational. But I got an idea in here and I'm going to go apply it. And I have a sneaky suspicion. I'm going to make a quick modification and it's going to be deadly.
Which anyway, you're not at liberty to share right now.
I'm not sharing it till I know it works.
We talked about it on the July 17th show. We mentioned it, I think, or in one of those shows in July. And every once in a while, Ben will just chime in on something that was, said in the show or something like that. Like I gave my top three like mega stars, the young guys right now. And he's like, hey, you left out the most important one. I said, yeah, I know. I totally forgot to mention Trey McKinney, who's having a good tournament here, this one. But so on July 17th, I'm going to read it. He wants to get pissed at me. He can. I don't care.
We know that about you, Matt.
He said, this is exactly what he said. So I mentioned the free rig, mentioned I hadn't thrown it much. I'm not sure what the hell's going on with it. I kind of understand the theory. Like, the guy who's like, don't peg it unless you have to in heavy cover because nothing in nature goes up and down. Everything has horizontal movement. So when you peg it and it goes, rrr, rrr, you're only eliciting the reaction bite because nothing in nature goes, rrr, rrr, or rrr, it. Circuitous route, so to speak. That I remember, I think it was even Shaw who told me that one time, when you're out deep, like never peg a 10-inch worm unless you're fishing it in brush and you have to, because when you pop it up, you want that worm to kind of flutter down. So that makes sense. Anyway, long story short, this is what Ben said. This is unsolicited. Like I didn't ask him anything. We talked about it. I said, I don't get it. I've never thrown it. And he said, the free rig has a much smaller pinch point on the line than an unpegged Texas rig weight. Less pinch point means less resistance, so more separation between the bait and the weight, which is what you just described. Once the weight hits the bottom, Also, less resistance on your bait when it's dragging, so it almost has the freedom movement of a swing head when dragging. I responded, do I need it in my arsenal? Ben responded, if you aren't fishing shallow, heavy cover or skipping, you need to be using it instead of a Texas rig on every type of plastic.
Yeah, I like I said, I'm in the stages of experimenting, and so far what I've seen from it, it's legit. It's legit. Rick will attest to that. He goes, can I catch one now?
So you, at first glance, you would think that the weight wouldn't matter because you're casting it out, it's hitting the bottom, and dunk, you're getting the bite. So you're saying, okay, that's just a reaction bite. It's going past the fish and they're eating it. It doesn't matter.
But it was
just to recap what you were saying.
It wasn't.
It was what was happening with the bait while it was falling, and once the weight hit the bottom, that was eliciting the strike.
Yeah, Frankie and I talked about
separating this. From.
Yes, Frankie was throwing the free rig before me. He's the reason that I had to give it a whirl because he kept talking about it, and I'm saying, all right, because I said it's bullshit, dude.
Crap, I'm going to have to hear about this now, because if Frankie's throwing it, then that means he's going to tell Juice about it, and then I'm going to fish with Juice, and all I'm going to hear about is Frankie said free rig this, Frankie free rig that.
Well, what we were talking about was the fall. The sinker falling first. It's free, so the sinker's going down. Now, the bait's not going to be at the top of the water, and the sinker's going to be at the bottom. That ain't how it works. Once you get the angle in the line by the weight, however much line separated on the drop, it's going to go down that far. But the key was when the sinker hit the bottom, I didn't do anything. I just let the sinker hit the bottom, and then all of a sudden I would feel the bass. And so I would reel into the fish until I started to feel weight, then set the hook, because I wasn't sure how far the weight was away from the plastic, right? And so if it was far away from the plastic and I didn't get tension and I set the hook, all I'm doing is popping the weight up. I'm not getting to the fish. So I wanted the tension first. I think I lost one fish.
Okay. I found a video, like a little short of it. This is from Bass Insights. So you can go check that out, but watch. There's the weight going down, and then look at that.
Mm-hmm.
The weight separates. Ooh.
Yeah, that is 100,000%. 100,000% the bite. Why I got the bites. You know, I may be old, but I'm not an idiot.
Wouldn't a heavier weight separate even more? So there would be advantageous to go 3/8, half, 5/8, 3/4, because you're getting more and more separation. It's getting down there faster in certain instances.
I don't know. I didn't have any half ounce. I actually bought the 6 cents weights, to be honest with you. And the store I went and got them at only had 3. I mean, I don't mean three packs. I mean 3 weights, 1 pack. So I bought it. I bought 3/8 and quarters, and I put the 3/8 on because I knew I was going to be fishing a little bit deeper.
So I mean, like a Christie crit or something like that. That's perfect for the free.
That's the bait. Yeah, that's the bait.
Sorry, you were trying not to say that. I didn't know. You didn't say the bait. I was just trying to pull up something that.
No, that's exactly it. I needed bulk. I needed the bulk. You know what I mean? The bulk will get you the separation.
What are you throwing it on, a jig rod? Are you throwing it on? I would almost think, this is just in my head, I would think that heavier line would actually create more separation on that line, because it would kind of like a zip line effect. 20-pound string.
I was throwing it on 17 and 775 flipping stick. And it was great, dude. I was bombing casts and hooking up immediately. Like I had so much freaking line out. I'm like, this is bad. This is bad juju. You can't. I got way too much line out. But no, dude, it was as soon as I would as soon as I felt the doink and then would start to crank down, I'd feel the tension and I would just crack them. And I got it. I landed every single one of them but one. And the one that I didn't land, he was running with it. And I don't know if it was even a big fish. I just got the bow in the rod and it came off. But other than that, I never missed a fish on it.
A couple times I've noticed a couple guys, Jamie Juice Newton and one of the other dudes on here too, I can't remember, mentioned the Jika rig, which is I actually really liked the Jika rig.
Never heard of it.
So it's a dual ring like that, which kind of has the same purpose as on the bottom when you're fishing it, some of the same properties as the free rig with the swing head and freedom with the double ring there of the bait, but
it's not the same. That's more
right.
Like
so the Jika rig kind of, I wouldn't say fallen by the wayside, but the free rig is definitely the bigger buzzword than the Jika rig because it is a Jika rig just with several more things that it can do to generate bites.
Yeah, I'm really pissed because now I have a rod just designated for the free rig.
And what rod is that again? You probably went through that when I was looking for something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a Powell 775.
Okay.
Flipping stick. It's got a nice soft tip on it and good backbone. Very sensitive.
Just like a deep Texas rig 10-inch worm.
You reel into the fish. I reel into them as soon as I feel the line getting heavy. I snap it like that. I don't pull it like a Carolina rig. I reel into it and pull the fish this way. And like I said, I lost one fish the whole day, and I don't even know how many we caught, to be honest with you. We weren't counting. The one thing Rick and I did say is it's not a competition, bro. We're just out here to have fun and catch fish. And he agreed, and we did. We laughed the whole day. That guy is the funniest guy on earth, man.
He is. Okay, so just for clarity here. So then this is the Tokyo rig.
Yes.
Where you put your weight, a heavier weight down here. So the way I understand it, Jika rig open water, free rig more open water, Tokyo rig punching. So you have this wire here like it. So think about when you're flipping in the mat and you're punching, you've got a 3/4 ounce weight here, and then you just crimp that, at an angle. It goes shoot through the mat down on the bottom. Your bait, this goes up on top, and then boom, your bait goes sideways like that. And now you're basically power shotting on the bottom in the mat when you're shaking it and stuff like that with the Tokyo rig. Same principle, but 3 kind of odd new styles or newer styles.
Yeah, now I experimented with the Tokyo rig. I will tell you this. I have 3 of those in my boat.
Same with me. And it's a pack that I got at a Gamakatsu Writers Conference.
Yeah,
I caught them on it.
Yeah, same here.
I've caught them on it, but I don't know if that's just me being old and closed-minded where I'm like, okay, I'd rather just punch through it, but it just seems like a lot of metal and steel and things can go wrong with it.
I just don't throw it. I have. And I have 3 hooks in my boat, and they're still in the original package. And I don't even know why I got them in the boat, to be honest with you. I just don't. I don't. But yeah, I mean, I experiment with a lot of things. It's always a learning game for me. I want to always be learning fishing. If I stop learning fishing, then what's the point? So, Ben's been a really good tool to bounce stuff off of, for sure. I even, it's like this. Okay. So like Frankie went to Arizona and fished the Bass Open.
US Open.
So I was quizzical. So I wanted to know everything I can know about the fishery, about the water conditions, everything. You know what I mean? Because that's how I live my life. I mean, it's always something there. You got to learn. You have to learn all the time. You can't be so close-minded The minute you become closed-minded as an angler, you stop advancing as an angler. I hate to say that, but it's the truth. I've talked about your learning curve like a set of stairs. Every time you start to do something new, your learning curve goes up, and then it plateaus, and then you got the step, and then you learn something new, it goes up, it plateaus, you got the step. The minute you stop learning, you're on the plateau, and that's where you're going to be, that's where you're going to stay, and you're not learning anymore, you're not advancing. And that's a shame, because the sport is always, not the sport, but catching fish, it's always reinventing itself, because at the end of the day, it's an animal, and everything it does is predicated on its environment. And so where I would go, I don't need a free rig, I have a football jig and a Carolina rig. Okay? But they wouldn't touch it that day. They ate the free rig. So I learned something. And it put an awful lot of decent sized fish in the boat in a very short amount of time. So the reality of it is that if I was so pig-headed that I'm like, if I can't catch them on a crankbait in a Carolina rig, then they're not there, I would have never caught those fish. Maybe one or two, because we did catch one or two on the other stuff. So you can't be so locked in that, you don't learn something. When drop shotting was first started, I experimented with all kinds of stuff drop shotting, and figured out that on Lake Erie the bass weren't really line shy, so I wasn't going down to 6 and 8 pound line on my drop shot rod. I was throwing 10, 12, and 14, and my counterparts are like, "You're out of your freaking mind." I'm like, "Yeah, how many did you break off today?" You know what I mean? Because I didn't break any off. And so it's always that learning curve. You can't be so closed-minded that you're not willing to learn. Very, very cool though. I got ideas, and I'm going to implement them. Go ahead.
We'll see how we can do this. All right. So you said stair steps. This is how I see anglers, and we'll see if I can do it right.
Okay.
So this is
Here, I'm going to tell you a trick. Tear the page off.
And then you can see through the back.
Yeah, you can see through the back.
Beautiful.
All right. You're on.
Oh, that's how you do it. All right.
That's how I do it, dude. What do you
think? This is
it?
my bullseye of, I'm going to say, competitive or tournament bass angling, right?
Okay.
Hear me out on this, because we're all on this on some level. You start here. This is your 0 point, right?
Okay.
This is it's not a peak, but this is your 0 point. So you start here and you get really excited because you're getting into the fishing and you're learning and you're incrementally and you're catching your PB and you're doing new things and everything. And you get up here, right?
Okay.
Then you get to this point and you're like, this is my jam. Then you have your obsessed phase where you've gone through the excited point. Now you're excited and you're obsessed and you're still learning and you're getting up to it and everything. Then the more you're obsessed, the more you spend the time on the water, the more you think. Then you get into the annoying phase. This is the guy. No, I'm dead serious. This is the guy who thinks he knows it all. He's mastered fishing. He would be competitive on the pro tour if it was up to, he's the GOAT. He's the man. We all go through it where we think, I've got it figured out. I went through it. I'm sure at one point in your career, you went through it too, Frank.
100%.
Then the more you get down here, you get into the educated, or what I call the old school phase, where you've been through the excited phase. You've learned through the obsessed phase. You've gotten through the I know everything, and now you're realizing that you don't know everything. You're old school. You're not as excited as you go. You maybe have some other things going on. You're not as obsessed, but you've become educated through all of these things. And when you get down here, you realize that you're not a know-it-all. But if you can get through this curve and get back into, now you've done a full 360 and you can live in the old school and the excited phase, I would say the sweet spot in angling is, once you've been through this whole thing, is to get right in this area right here. Because now you're excited You have a little bit of obsession about it, so you're still learning, you're excited, and you're educated. So I would say right here, so 360, like 450 degrees, if you do this as a circle instead of 360, right here, this is where you are right now, Frank. This is the sweet spot in fishing.
Yeah, I would say it's a little more towards your center line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could agree with that. I could agree with that. That graph that you were so.
I firmly believe that.
Yeah, I do too. It's very true. I found myself getting, still a genius, dude. It never gets old.
Mm-hmm.
It never gets old. Yeah, I mean, I found that now what I have
I
to
need to label my axis. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm not a genius. I'm not Frank Scalish out there. I can't label everything.
You are a genius, Matt, in your own right.
Yeah.
You are a genius.
He said, Matt,
genius.
Don't forget the disposable income lure collector face.
which I don't even want to say. We're about to go somewhere else. We're gonna.
Oh, that's a great transition. Are we
Yes.
through that?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So are we finally, for those jonesing to get their hands on some new Frank Scalish painted lure net
yes
.com crankbaits, we are less than 72 hours away.
So here's the story. Okay. There's going to be a limited color run drop on the Booyah XCS, and it's going to start Monday. I had designed these colors in the XCS, and everybody knows the Booyah XCS is a silent square bill. I personally am not a fan of silent crankbaits. However, there's a place for the silent square bill. When I fish deep, I want something making a commotion. But when I'm fishing shallow crankbaits, I'm going to ask you guys a question, because anybody who fishes knows this. Have you ever seen, you're going down the bank and maybe you're fishing blowdowns and boulders and, bank related cover, and you see a shad or a bluegill banging itself and rubbing on a rock, or banging itself on a tree branch and ricocheting off the tree branch and doing that, right? So what these fish are doing is they're trying to get parasites off of them, or they're feeding on the algae that's on the branch or on the rock. Okay. They don't make any noise. They're very quiet. It's very subtle movement. It's just a flash. And if you look and pay attention, you could see them flashing on this stuff. It's very quiet, very stealthy. Okay. That's what the silent square bill represents when you're fishing it in a blowdown or on a shallow rocky bank. You're getting the deflective characteristics. It's very natural. A lot of times when there's a lot of activity on the bank from other fishermen, a lot of them will be flipping soft plastics, throwing a jig, going down the bank. The bass are hearing the trolling motor, the splash, splash, splash of the lures. They become alerted that something is not good in their environment, or something's not normal in their environment. That's when the silent square bill excels, because that's as normal as it gets to them. So I was tasked with the design of creating a few colors for the Booyah XCS. So in my studies, I read a lot of stuff of what bass can see, color biology, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to cover a couple of facts. Bass see and react to contrast the best. That doesn't mean that they don't see natural colors. It just means that contrasting colors stand out to bass. So I took that bullet point and put it down. The next thing is there's colors that contrast. It doesn't have to be black and white. But here it's like this: black and chartreuse, for example. They're contrasting colors. The bass can see the contrast really good. We all know that chartreuse to a bass looks bright white. It doesn't necessarily look like we see chartreuse. It's just bright. And so you get the contrast, chartreuse and blue. It's the same thing. Bass can see the blue, but they can't see the chartreuse. So it's like blue white. It's a contrast. So I took that in mind, but I wanted something really natural when I designed these colors because I want to imitate the bait fish that are feeding on the algae and flicking off the branches and scraping on the rocks. I wanted something like that. So I came up with 3 colors. And then there was one other thing that I was thinking about that I think bass fishermen overlook. We know about contrasting colors. We know what they do. But did you ever think about a bait that contrasts with the environment? A bait color that will stand out in that environment. That's what I call an environmental contrast, where I've got a bait fishy looking thing, but it's super contrasting to the underwater scene. As we know, as you go down, you lose visibility, light penetration, you start to diffuse color. So now you need something that's going to contrast with that. So I created this color. It's called Fool's Gold. Okay, I'm going to see if I can get this camera to focus in on it.
That looks pretty good. Yeah. That looks so good.
It's called Fool's Gold. So what it is, it's a pearl white. It's semi-transparent. If you notice, I still have a solid gut on it.
Yep.
The solid gut bag, okay? So here's what happens. This bait is actually transparent white to solid white with gray pearled scales on the side. I've got green pearl, if you could see the green pearl above the lateral line.
Absolutely.
I've got a little gold pearl on the lateral line, and then below the lateral line is blue pearl. I got a little spot of transparent chartreuse on the tail of this bait. A little bit of pale chartreuse.
I should have called that color Dirty Diamond.
Yeah, I called it Fool's Gold. My bad.
I like Fool's Gold because it is a little hueish, little golden hue to it.
Oh, you could see the hues now.
Yep. Oh okay. Yeah, perfect. So okay, here. Yep. Now I can see the gold.
Okay, so this will contrast with the water. It will contrast with the bottom. That's why I created this. Now it's a square bill, so it's only going to run down about 4.5, 5 feet. Mm-hmm. But if the fish see it underneath, you've got the solid gut bag on it. That gut bag will contrast. Okay, so that's how Fool's Gold. That's why I did Fool's Gold. And I'm greedy. I wanted this in deep crankbaits too, but it's in the XCS.
So and this is not going to be, just real quick, this is not going to be a Frank Scalish Signature Series drop. No. This is going to be part of the XCS new color collection, and these are the 3 that you painted out of that collection. So if you're looking for it on LureNet, you said it drops on August, what day? Monday?
Monday the 11th. It's sometime.
Monday, August 11th. You're not going to see Frank Scalish Signature. You're going to see new XCS colors. You're going to go through, and these are the 3 colors that you painted.
Correct. So then I got this brainiac idea that in my fishing experiences, both saltwater and freshwater, I've seen bait that's transparent that just reflects. It's just it reflects whatever's around it, whatever watercolor it is. In the saltwater, it's crystal clear. Yet these bait fish look like glass, but you could see them. They just reflect color. And so I got pictures of these glass minnows. And there's minnows in freshwater that do the same thing. And if you ever have seen a baby bluegill, I don't mean like a 3-inch bluegill. I mean like the tiny ones that are inch and a half long. They're transparent with the exception of their gut bag and their back. Okay. So I kind of combined the 2. And I came up with the glass minnow. This is was really designed for clear water fishing. This bait is transparent, and I'm not sure you can see the transparency because I'm behind it. But this bait is transparent.
Do you have your cell phone? You could probably turn the. Oh, you've got an old phone. Do you have a light on your cell phone?
Yeah,
Turn the light on your cell phone and then put it behind the bait.
All right, Matt. I'm doing this. I'm
We're doing it, Frank.
I'm technologically impaired. I can't even find my flashlight. What the hell's going on here? Hold on. Bear with me, guys. I'm old. I got it. I do not have. Oh, there it is. Duh. Okay. All right. There you go.
Go. Hold the bait behind it. Hold.
Well, the light's too bright for that. So if I hold the bait down a little bit.
Yeah, you can see that it's translucent. That was a bad idea on my part.
No, you can see it now. It's translucent with the exception of the gut bag, as usual, and the face of the bait, because the face of fish are never transparent.
Yep.
And so this thing's just laced with all these different pearls in it. So when you see it, it's going to look semi-transparent, but in reality, it's not. It is, but it's not in the water because of all the pearls that are in it. So I literally did this one specifically for a clear water environment.
Mm-hmm.
And this glass minnow, that's bad to the bone. Now, the next color I did, I call it black shad. And this color was designed with the contrast theory in mind. I combined purple, blue pearl, and black to be very gizzard shad-like. All the while keeping this contrast in with this white pearl belly. So this is called black shad. It's semi-transparent.
Oh my gosh, that is a Eufaula, Oklahoma. Oh my gosh, that is designed for Eufaula, Oklahoma, in the muddy water right outside of Takeoff, Frank. Little release fish action on the riprap and that chunk rock in 4 foot of water.
You see how it goes from the purple to the blue?
Yep.
And then I have a very, very pale.
Oh, Fort Gibson, water's up a little and you're cranking the riprap or the triangle in Eufaula. Oh my gosh.
So that's why I did this color. This color offers
Keystone Lake around the bridge. Dude, that is a Oklahoma muddy water, late spring, early fall special.
What's this thing going to look like if I do this? I never thought about this. What if I put a white background behind it?
Yes, that's it.
So, you can see through it now.
Yeah.
Here, let's do this. Let me see if you can see through this one now. Now I get to play. Oh yeah, you can.
Oh yeah, totally. Yep.
Let's see. Wait, let's see Fool's Gold now. See now. See, this is that excitement, obsessive.
Wait, so if it's a little bit transparent, is it not good for muddy water then? The black.
Oh no, it's 100% designed specifically for off-color water.
Yeah,
it stands out like a sore thumb. And the cool thing is the semi-transparent body styles on these baits. The semi-transparent body styles on these things. Okay.
Oh, Frank, come on with it. That is a banger to drop. Come back after a little 3-month hiatus of lure net drops. Come back with those 3.
I mean, so
like MJ wearing the 4.5.
Where do you come up with this stuff, dude?
That's a rap lyric.
All right, because I don't listen to rap clearly. So anyway, so these colors will work in all water conditions realistically, with probably, I would say the exception would be glass minnow. This is designed for cleaner water, anything from 2 foot of visibility to 5-6 feet of visibility. That's what this color was specifically designed for. I'm going to tell you guys something too. The best color to throw in muddy water is white. White pearl. Those are
even without a contrast.
Yeah, because the white contrasts with the mud. Black also contrasts with the mud. And so that's what you got to think about. Not only do you think about contrasting colors, you have to also think about, does it contrast with the environment? Because that's another key. They contrast with the environment. That's why they'll throw chartreuse and black in dirty water, but the chartreuse is bright white. That's what it looks like to the fish, bright white. So, I mean, you gotta remember this stuff. But I was really excited about the color release. You can use your BTL code for it also. These colors are really like I want them in every single crankbait I own, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a great lineup.
Very cool. I'm looking on LureNet. Oh, that's cool. I didn't just realize I can go full screen on you, and then I'm over here. You have no idea what I'm doing, do you?
No, I don't.
But you can still hear me.
I can hear you.
Boy, you thought the big screen was awkward with you. Now you're full screen.
Yeah, I know. This is really freaky. Cut me back, man. Cut me back. Put me back. Split it.
What's that? I'm having some audio issues. I can't hear you. What was that, Frank?
I'm not saying a word, Matt, until you come back. Oh, he's back. All right.
So I'm looking. Are these going to be $6.99 or is there a little price jump for the new drop?
I do not know.
I'm just looking at all the XCS series and it shows $6.99 on here.
Yeah, I can't see the baits that you're looking at. Like those aren't the new colors, are they?
No, this is just the Booyah XCS series.
Yeah,
$6.99.
Yeah, that's what they are.
So your colors are going to be added down here in the. I'm sure there'll be a banner on the front that's like new.
Yeah, there'll be a banner, but it's not coming out till Monday at sometime Monday.
Yeah, that's what I have. Frank's XCS Square Bill colors drop on lurenet.com on Monday, August 11th, 2025. And the lurenet.com loyal listener code, capital BTL25, gets you 15% off regularly priced items.
Beauty. Yeah, but I'm just happy to see. I have painted so many colors over the last 2 years. I'm thrilled to death to see them starting to make their.
Does that mean that we're not that far away from round 2 of the Frank Scalish Signature Series drops?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to drop the first one in October.
I was unaware of this, and maybe this isn't the saying isn't road to hoe, is it?
I don't know.
Maybe this isn't a road that I need to hoe.
I don't know. I'll shut you down, Matt. I'll shut you down.
I'm just saying. I hadn't been to LureNet for a couple days, and I go to LureNet, and you got a little crawl battle with Debo. I pull it up here, and this is what I see. I see Debo getting in on the limited edition on the craw series. That's a bold move to challenge the craw patterns of the Master Frank Scalish.
Hey, Debo does Debo, man. Debo will do Debo.
Little Bandit 100 right there. 300 of those available if you want to get your hands on that. I think, I don't know, I would say there needs to be a craw off now, but I would not want any part of you in a crawfish crankbait painting competition. I would not want to tangle with you in any way, shape, or form.
No, you just look at my sample.
Oh, it's a row to hoe. I would assume that would harken back to the days of farming when you had to.
Yeah, that's right.
You had to use a hoe. You had to hoe. You made a row with your hoe, all the way down. So then
now that sounds like a rap song.
Then you could plant your plants, your goods,
your crop
that you want to say. So when they say it's a tough row, R-O-W, row to hoe, that means it's some difficult ground to work, so it would take longer.
There you go.
Right?
Yeah. That's exactly where it came from.
Did I get that right?
Yeah, it's exactly where it came from. So if you were in rocky terrain, that would be a tough row to hoe.
Correct. I always thought it was road.
Where are we going with this, man? We have.
Am I wrong? Did anyone else think it was also road?
No, it's row to hoe. I just figured you guys in Oklahoma hoed your roads, man.
have you not? You've driven in Oklahoma. Oklahoma has the worst roads.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
There's
yeah.
It should be a road to hole in Oklahoma because it is filled with potholes.
Yeah, well, that was your road to Mexico.
Yeah.
Where you demolished your axles on your trailer.
Oh my gosh, it has been a disaster.
It is so funny. You have so much shit to do to leave.
I know, and I'm supposed to be at a secret lake in an hour to be with Scott from the Bass Tank. This is the beauty of I would say a little bit like a pit crew, a little bit like a little Yoda, a little wise advisor. I'm going to make sure I've got my rock pallets dialed in. I had some questions about some side imaging that I'd like to have a little bit crisper. I actually, like an idiot, Frank, left my cover for 3 weeks peeled back on the boat where, it's just draping over the nose,
Yes.
where it's easy to put back on, keeps it dry. Well,
where was the cover laying on?
Dead nuts on top of my 0 degree mount. So instead of being like that, it kind of had a little bit of angle to it, just a little bit of heat pressure from that cover on it. So we got getting that taken care of, making sure there's no interference.
So what you're saying is it would be dynamite in perspective mode for deep water.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. Dude, that was an awesome show. We have to rename it. We didn't even get into what we were going to do for the show. So I'll spill the beans, and then we can do that at a later show. We were going to do, Frank has a whole show on solid versus translucent lures. When you want a bait you can see through, when you want solid, when you want opaques. We've gone into the matte and the G finish that they used to have before and all that. But that solid, clear, that was where the show was planning on going, Frank.
Yeah, we took a different turn.
And I am so happy that we did.
We took you guys, by now you all know that half these shows are we fly by the seat of our pants. Free falling. That's right, trailer.
We do fly by the seat of our pants, but I would venture to say over any given week we spend 5 to 10 hours on the phone.
Oh yeah,
talking about what we've talked about, what we plan on talking about, right, what's happening, what's going on. So when we sit down and go live, it's not just,
we have a basis. We're not.
Yeah.
It's not made up for the most part.
And the other badass thing is, like, you can't fake a community, and bringing in the regulars, like all you guys who are listening, who are there every week, dude, it adds to the show. The comments, we've got
100%
guests with personalities, and we know what they like and what they don't. I mean, there's on any given, I would say an average 200 to 300. Some guys, jobs and not and things like that, but that are on that I recognize and love the comment section on it. So cannot thank you guys enough for interacting with Frank and I on the shows and in person and via email. I got an email from this gentleman.
Dude, hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. All right, here we go.
You got your apple.
We got him.
I need to find it. So, it starts, "Hey, Matt, it's me, Alan, the red apple on your shelf guy." And that's as far as I've gotten into the email. I'm excited for it. It's small and a lot of text. So, but I love getting the feedback and viewer feedback and things like that. So I have to get through his email today. Not get through it, but I needed some time to sit down and read it. I was one of those things where you're traveling, you see the first, and then it just occurred to me on that. But
I'm losing everything.
You got a thank you note?
Yeah, I got a thank you note from a locker room participant. From way far away from here.
He gave it up. Didn't think Frank was a tucked t-shirt kind of guy. You are a tucked t-shirt guy. When we fish together, you tuck your tee when you fish.
Yeah. It's good now. I'm losing weight, so now I don't have to tuck it in anymore. Yeah, it said, Uncle Frank, you know you're a genius, right? Really appreciate you taking the time. What you do with day 4 has truly helped me become a better angler. Until the next time, take care, Joseph. So yeah, I mean, this is what it's all about to me. This is that's what that you guys make this worth it. You make this so worth it.
I just realized this. Hold on.
And I
Keep going.
really appreciate you guys. The fans are the best. I wish I could spend time and talk to every one of you personally. It's so much fun. I've met great guys, absolutely great people that watch this show, and it's very humbling.
All right. Little sneak peek, Frank.
Uh-oh.
Now this is not a color of my choosing, but it will come in other colors.
A sneak peek.
This is where we've gotten.
Okay, I'm ready.
And there's going to be some slight changes on here.
All right. I'm seeing this for the first time. I like structural element.
So what I wanted to do on that then, which this was kind of my call, was to do a BTL and Frank Scalish underneath it. Now, love that structural element. However, it'd be hard to throw a Carolina rig in 4,940 meters of water.
Yeah.
So, I've got an eval in to maybe try to change some of that. Now, picture that, but with a different color, like a black background with white, or white with black.
Right.
BTL green, the Frank Scalish white. Like, there's some really cool stuff.
Yeah, we have to not go too light on the shirts because they get dirty too fast.
Yep.
Now the light colored shirts are great fishing in the summer. I got to be honest.
So that's what we're working with on that. And then, just for the regular drop on this, just some earthy tones. Like, I really like that.
See,
I really like that hoodie there, and that thick.
So I have a Browns hoodie that's that color. It was the Browns Army edition.
Yeah.
Or Armed Forces edition.
Yeah. See, you've worn it before. I love that color, like that kind of Carharty color.
Yeah, it's fabulous. It's a great color.
And then we'll get down to the goods.
Uh-oh.
So this is where there's only 100 because I'm in the red. Because I'm not making. We're both in the red on this because we have purchased the patches, and in doing so, we only purchased 100 patches. That is so filthy,
dude. I love that smallmouth.
So here's what I wanted to do, and I know I mentioned this before. So I worked with Catherine at ATS Printing, and the beauty.
Wait, go back to those hats again. Oh, I like the olive hat.
So,
all right.
I know that not everybody lives in Richardson 112 land. There are other people who enjoy other styles of hat. Richardson 112 is quickly becoming the hat of the disgruntled 35-year-old tournament angler.
So what hat is that one?
So what we're doing, and I don't know exactly what they are, is we're going to offer 3 or 4 different options of hats, since you order it and then they make the hat afterwards and put the patch on it. So we'll have a rope hat, we'll have a Richardson 112, we'll have one that's got a little bit of different styles on it. So
perfect.
And then we'll have a 112 too. So if you do I still am a 112 guy.
Yeah, but you wear the 112 good. I don't wear the 112 good.
Yeah.
It's because of this dome I got going. You think I'd fill it in good, but I don't like them.
Yeah.
They don't fit right.
Look like Davey Height.
Who, by the way, is probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet.
I know. Life. I always wondered, what's he hiding under that high hat there?
Davey Height.
That's a joke. That was a well-meaning joke.
Yeah, I know that. Davey Height gave me a pep talk my first season on the Elites when I made my first classic that stood out to me that actually it catapulted my sponsorship career. He came up to me after that tournament when they announced that I made it. He said, "You're going to get a lot of sponsor offers now, and I'm going to give you one piece of advice because everybody's going to have advice for you. If you take less money than you need, you're never going to get what you need." And so I never forgot that. And I remember I had turned down at the time, I turned down 2 sponsor offers for a fair amount of money for each one. And I turned them both down because it wasn't going to get me through the game. It was going to help a ton, but it wasn't going to get me through the game. And I turned them down. And it took a lot of guts to turn it down because at the time I needed the money bad. But I turned them down, and then I wound up getting my title sponsor, and it turned out to be a blessing in disguise that I turned those down, because if I took them, my title sponsorship would have been sold already. And so I did. I turned them down, thinking about what Davey told me. And I landed my title sponsor for a lot more money. And that's, and then I had them for 11 years of professional fishing. So, hats off to Davey Hyde. There's always a soft spot in my heart for the guy, because he did me a solid just with, one sentence of advice. He did me a solid. So
well stated. 2 more things. FBPS, bring back the fish drawing shirts. I screwed this one up. Fish drawing shirts are coming back.
Yeah.
We'll have those colors. We'll have the black one available too. I told them, largemouth,
but we want
your signature fish is a smallmouth.
Yeah, I want smallies.
So we're good. So that will be the exact same logo in that exact same shirt that you have on.
Perfect.
Except smallmouth. And there will be one quality long sleeve option in that, the way it is. That shirt is one of my top 3 favorite shirts that I wear on a consistent basis. That exact brand, model, logo, everything. Like, it does not fade. I probably washed it 20 times now.
You what, the hoodie style?
No, the one you have on now.
Oh yeah, dude. This shirt is the deal.
Your nipples do not show through the shirt because it is, I'm being dead honest here, because it is thick enough, and then it also doesn't have like the flying V arms, so it actually makes you look like you got a little bit of muscle definition, and the collar stays very tight on it, and that is wash after wash after wash.
Yeah, that's what I love about these t-shirts. I spent money on good tees, and by the 4th wash, the collars look like I had cat chewing on them.
So I am legit 6 foot 190. And on that t-shirt, I fit a large perfectly. I'm 6 foot 190 also?
No, I'm 211, 210.
And you're an extra large.
I do double X.
You do double X.
I want them baggy.
Okay, I don't want them baggy. I fit it a little bit more.
Yeah. Maybe if I could get myself back down to 200, I would go XL.
He said he's 6'3", 220.
I'd go double. I'd go double X.
They don't shrink, but they tighten up, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd go double X. Well, I like them
6'3", 220.
Yeah, I'd go double X, dude.
I don't know. Yeah. Or an XL if you like it fitted a little bit more.
Yeah,
I like the length. It's not like a short shirt. It's the right length, unless you have an oddly shaped torso.
It is the right length. It is.
The other thing is, I had that big meeting that I was talking to you off air about that one thing that we want to do with those other people.
Yeah, I'm tracking.
Trailer Rick says he's 6'2", 225, and the XXL fits great.
So I am just going to tell you that. So now the rest of the show, we are talking in code.
So I had the meeting, and I told him, I said, hey, I want to involve BTL. I said, and then there's this separate thing with this other dude called Day 4. And there were 6 other people on this conference call. And they said, oh, yeah. And I said, I think about 20% of the listener base would be comfortable doing this. I said, I am not in that 20% right now. Neither is Frank. I said, so we could learn together in this, but it could benefit all of us, but also none of us at the same time, since I wanted to involve a charity element into it. And it's a done deal.
Holy crap.
So
I guess
I have to talk with you a little bit off air, but I'll hard tease it. This is going to be a way where you guys could donate to, I think, one of the biggest, best, most valid charities out there that has deep roots in the fishing community with St. Jude. Frank and I don't get a cent off of this, but you get to compete with and or against us for the chance to get some really cool stuff. And it doesn't matter whether you're in Maine, SoCal. What is the highest state up there is Washington, right?
Canada.
Washington. I don't know about Canada. We have to figure that. I did it. Canada, Washington, or Florida.
That was a slight small joke.
But there's also, oh, I see what you did there. That's like a Gulf of America joke.
That's right. It encompasses everybody equally. That's the best way to put it.
I'm very optimistic, like kind of excited about it.
And it could be fun.
It will be a lot of fun. It will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm preparing stuff. I'm preparing stuff for giveaways, and it's just hand painted stuff. Just for another teaser, hand painted stuff.
Yeah, I like it. I think it'll be fun. So that's it. I literally have to hook the boat up and
leave.
I was up till 3 packet. You'd be so proud of me right now. So proud of me.
Is it organized?
Oh, dude. It's the most organized I've ever been in my life.
And how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like I may need to see, I don't know whether a doctor, a psychologist, something that has taken me 7 days to get where I'm at. Like it should be.
I'll be like this. And so here we are, Matt, on another day with Dr. Frank.
Yeah. Let's just say I spent a day and a half on jig heads.
Yeah, but it's so much. It's so worth it, dude. I did the same thing. Remember when we had Dan on and he had the terminal wallet?
Yeah.
I pulled my hair out. I did the same thing. I took one of those wallets and I did like flick shakes, wacky rigs, Ned rigs, and I organized the whole wallet. And I'm like, how am I going to get all this stuff in here? And it's going to be too bulky. And I loaded that thing up, dude. And it's like, I zipped shut perfectly. And I was like, oh my God. And I threw it in the boat. And the other day I broke a shaky head off and I unzipped that thing and I went right to my shaky head label, pulled another one out, zipped it shut. Dude, there's nothing flailing around. You're not snagged in there, shaking them all, trying to get them out. It was like, man, it was money.
All right, I'm headed to the Open. What we're going to do is probably double up on shows the week after that. Is that okay with you?
Yeah,
we haven't done an evening show in forever.
Yeah, we could double. We'll double up. There'll be no show Thursday then, right?
Yeah, what I was thinking was the next week we do an evening show, we drop the merch, we talk about the colors that are coming out, we do a Q&A, we give away a LureNet gift card or two, and then we do a regularly scheduled show Thursday to make up for it.
All right.
I hadn't literally had no time to record a show for next week with you this week, Frank.
No, we're good, dude. We're good.
It's all good stuff.
We'll
It's just
squeeze one
life.
in there. We'll squeeze one in there. Maybe it'll be a nighttime show. Maybe there'll be a Coors Light in here. Who knows?
I really hope I fish 3 days at Leech. I don't hope I have high expectations placed upon myself.
Okay,
Frank.
so my only request is that you give me some feedback when you're down there. Don't go down there and not text me and say, dude, holy crap, it's on. You know what I mean? Let me just give me like a little tiny bit of direction. So at least in my head, I know that you're smooth sailing.
Yeah. Hey, I don't do this often. I'll close out the show with this. Also, if you enjoy Day 4, like watching Day 4, we're getting to that time of the year. We're working on stuff for the next year, not only for BTL, but for Day 4. We have ideas. We have things that you want to do. It legitimately helps. There are people who make decisions on what, when, where, how, and why that read and see the comments that you guys leave on the show and the emails you send and the reviews that you put on iTunes. If you listen to it, we want this thing, as Mark Jeffries used to always say, what are we doing next year? What's the next thing? What's the next thing? We want to keep adding layers to this. We want to get on the water. We want to do more experiences. We want to be able to do all this stuff. If you listen on iTunes and have not left a review or a rating, Google Play, any of the podcast platforms, leave a rating. Leave a personal comment. I literally will take those comments and send it in the year end when we're looking at the next on what you guys think about Day 4, about the BTL. Same thing on YouTube. If you enjoy the programming, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. I say it once a year, but genuinely appreciate the kind words and the not kind words. You have to take them 50-50.
Right. You got to take the good with the bad. And well, if you're listening to Day 4, there is no bad.
Well said. All right. This has been another edition of Day 4 with the man, Frank Scalish. Monday, August 11th, lurenet.com. A sub drop is what we're calling it, Frank. We're calling it a sub drop. 3 of the colors in the XCS that Frank painted. What are they again? What 3? Rattle them off.
Fool's Gold, Black Shad, and Glass Minnow.
So no show next Thursday. Day 1 of the Bassmaster Open. Stay tuned to basszone.com. Frank Scalish and I social media. We'll let you know we'll do an evening show the week after that, after we get back. And that's all we got for today. I'm headed to Minnesota. Frank, I'm sure you're headed to a mystery lake nearby.
A mystery lake unknown.
We'll talk to everyone later. See ya.